What's going on, fellow A-Plusers? It's your boy, Adam Perez. I'm back once again with a brand new video review for you guys today, as I am doing a little bit of a catch-up when it comes to The Penguin, as I'm going to be diving into episode number 3 for you guys. I'm actually recording this on Sunday night, where we got a brand new episode of Penguin. Episode 4 just dropped, so I am a little bit of a week behind, and I do believe I also have to drop Agatha for you guys here this week as well. So hopefully I'll be able to get to Agatha before the brand new episode of Agatha certainly hits. But this is going to be about The Penguin episode number 3. I just got done certainly checking it out. And another fantastic episode, man. I tell you, this show continues to get better and better. Very solid episode, quite enjoyable here. I mean, I really love the character work, man. Like, I really love the writing on this series so far. They're really getting to some interesting aspects of each character's life in here. And really, I really love the idea that they really push the narrative of sort of like, what is it that you want to be, like, what do you want to achieve for your life, sort of thing. I really enjoy seeing the relationship between Vic and Oz in here also, and the idea of Oz genuinely being proud of this kid and trying to push him forward and give him some sort of advice and some street smarts and stuff, right? Like, pushing and challenging him to certainly be better. And now, even though this life isn't necessarily what he wants or what he thinks is probably the way that I think his parents would be proud of him to certainly go. I think he also understands the advantages, the money that it brings, how he can really get himself out of this sort of impoverished area. And so I really continue to enjoy how they build on these characters, giving each other confidence, their successes, and really have been enjoying just seeing them sort of work the system, if you will, to get more for themselves as this season progresses. I mean, we're only 3 episodes in, but I'm really enjoying just not only Oz's plan, but just how he's orchestrating things and kind of pulling strings behind the scenes. And so, to kind of see how things kind of come full steam ahead for him and cross paths, if you will, at the end of this episode is certainly an intriguing one, certainly moving forward. But I really enjoy the scheming, if you will, of Oswald, and I think they've done a really great job of making the Penguin character really resonate and be a sort of a formidable foe in a different aspect of sort of that mob underworld of Gotham City. And it definitely just makes for a really intriguing kind of story. When you got such compelling actors giving these incredible performances, man, it's hard not to get sucked into this world. And so I think, again, 3 episodes in, very, very strong season so far, guys, to be quite frank with you. But let's go ahead and really talk about this episode and some of the things that I really enjoy. Sofia Falcone continues to mesmerize me. The actress that plays her is doing an absolutely incredible job. We do seem to get a revelation here in this episode, towards the end, of Sofia and Oz maybe having been a thing in the past. He references the idea that she meant a lot to him, which is fascinating for somebody that's just the boss's daughter. It seemed a little bit more personal, right? Saying that he hasn't gotten over that as of yet. There was a brief scene in the club when Oz sort of gives that speech, and then he turns to his missus, his own lady, and gives her a kiss and whatnot as she walks down. There was a brief scene in there where Sofia looked at her, and the way that the camera kind of captured the both of them sort of in the same shot as the lady was sort of walking away, along with the interesting choice of faces for Sofia to make. It did make me curious, like, why does she have some beef with her? Like, why would she have that reaction to what just kind of took place? And so there is a part of me that thinks, now seeing Oz mention that and Sophia gets semi sort of emotional towards the end. It definitely looked like her eyes were watering along with Oz. It definitely seemed like there was some passion and some like emotion behind his words that he was definitely saying. And so it does make me wonder if they were a couple at some point in time. It definitely felt like that's what they were certainly hinting at in here. And the idea of, where do you go from here? How can you trust this person after everything that's happened? Will definitely be an interesting one. It certainly has put a new, interesting wrinkle in Oz's plan, if that is the case, right? That now is there an emotional connection with Sophia Falcone, even though he's also working both sides? You know, how's Maroney's gonna feel about it? And so we definitely found a little bit of an altercation towards the end of that episode. And so I am kind of curious as to where this goes with episode number 4. I mean, the homeboy unfortunately left Sophia behind, along with the idea of her now realizing that there's certainly more going on. Like, just when he needed her to trust her most, this is where everything kind of falls apart for him. So I am kind of curious as to how he explains things kind of going forth. And so episode 4, what is that? Is this going to be the halfway mark? Is it 6 episode season, 8 episode? I can't remember off the top of my head, but I really don't want this show to end. It's doing incredibly well each and every week, to be quite frank with you. So yeah, I really love the Sophia Falcone stuff. I appreciate the drive that she has, in the sense of feeling like this is something that she deserves. Like, I love the idea that she also allows us to realize this has been her plan the entire time. The way that she talks about it, in the sense of like, yeah, this has been my plan, because I would assume with the drug kind of coming from Arkham, or them utilizing it, like, this is something that clearly Sophia probably cooked up while she was certainly away. And so finding the fact that she's sort of the mastermind behind this, I thought was pretty interesting. And so I love the concept of the drug here in Bliss, in the sense of, I don't want to say like a sedative so much, but definitely a drug that they clearly used on her in Arkham, which definitely got the boss of the Triad kind of fascinated, right? Like, if there was any selling point that would definitely differentiate his drug on the market from anything else, it's that concept that this comes not directly from Arkham, but like the source of it is what they use in Arkham. And boy, I can tell you right now, the people of Gotham would certainly love to definitely try that. And so I am interested to kind of see the direction they go now that they're sort of in this drug game. But I thought the concept of the drug Bliss was a pretty fascinating one. And if anything, like, anytime I see mushrooms or toxins or hallucinogens, like, something always points me to like the early beginnings of like the Scarecrow's drug or something like that. You know what I mean? Leave it up to Matt Reeves to establish those early sort of Easter eggs. But who certainly knows, as this season in Batman saga certainly continues. But I'm continuing to love the Sophia Falcone and Oz Cobblepot sort of aspect of the show so far. We talked already a little bit about Vic, but I'm glad that he got himself really, I don't want to say his own episode, but a really strong arc here this week. You know, when the episode begins, I honestly think that this is sort of present day until we start seeing the explosions and realizing that this is the moment in the Batman movie towards the climax of the film where the dam, or I don't want to say where the dam breaks, but the bombs certainly go off and winds up flooding Gotham City, and you get to see the ramifications of that particular moment and the impact that it has on somebody like Victor in here, in losing his entire family. And what's crazy here is that when this season starts, I think they say it's only been a week since the flooding of Gotham, if I'm not mistaken, right? So this is a very fresh flashback, right? This isn't something like, you know, Vic just had this moment happen to him, you know, 4 or 5 months ago and he's handling it well. Like, no, this is a really raw scar, and the fact that he truly had nowhere to really go. I mean, clearly we come to find out that he's got somebody he clearly cares about that was out there, but clearly I would assume with the death of his family, he probably just felt so alone and just put himself out in the streets with really nowhere to go. And so now he finds himself with somebody here in Oz, and I just find it fascinating that they explore sort of like a PTSD moment for Vic in here, in the sense of, you know, remembering the explosions when he finds himself in moments of anxiety, right? And just being thrusted back into that flashback and kind of resorting to fear and curling up sort of thing. And so I really love the way that they showcase that, the idea that it's still very palpable to him and still very real, and the fact that he finds himself with the decision of, if I leave, am I gonna die? You that uncertainty that comes with knowing that you were involved in having someone killed, or at least, the involvement of helping somebody hide or murder. You know what I mean? So I can understand his idea of wanting to at least have that worry of running sort of thing. But it does go to show you that within a very short period of time, how much has really been going on with Victor in the meantime. And so I thought they handled that well, especially the idea of like how Oz views him, right? Like there is a sense of, I like how Oz was almost insulted at the concept of like, what, you thought I was like your prisoner sort of thing? Like I give you, money, I put clothes on your back, like I provide for you and do all these like really great things. Like you think I'm just doing this because you're my prisoner, right? Like there's certainly more to it. And so, the fact that I think we have been seeing Oz just very helping out with his confidence and complimenting him, right? And really singing his praises and kind of giving him advice. And so it definitely felt like it was somebody that Oz was definitely taking under his wing, and felt a little bit insulted when the concept of why Vic is even here in the first place comes down to that he's just scared and just doing this because he doesn't think that he's got an out. And so I just thought it was a really interesting dilemma for both of those characters, because they do rely on each other for sure, and it's not like arguing like a married couple or anything like that. But I do think that it is important to kind of see two men having issues, working themselves out, coming back, and still having that camaraderie and brotherhood sort of mentality. And so I really like seeing that at the end of the day, they're still certainly there for each other. And perfect timing for Victor to show up when they've got him cornered. But I'm still sort of shaking my head like, damn, you just leave Sofia to herself. Like, how is she gonna handle it, sort of thing? I mean, maybe she's certainly more than fine in that situation, but still, I mean, clearly not a gentleman. That's to certainly say the least. But great episode overall, man. We didn't get any Penguin mother here this time, but I thought a really great flashback. Really cool to kind of see like the other life of Victor and just what his not only family was like, but what his love life was certainly like. Also, the decision of going down that road of, while yeah, you probably would be content and happy with the person that you love, maybe looking at your life a little bit differently, or still being in the same situation you found yourself with, when in reality, opportunity is kind of staring you in the face, sort of thing. And so, I find it a fascinating journey that Victor finds himself certainly on, and especially when it comes to the Penguin, like Colin Farrell with a really emotional performance in here with his apology to Sofia. It's not I don't necessarily know if I would have thought Oz would be the crying type, but it definitely felt like, if you just looked in his eyes, the way he performed it, it definitely looked like he certainly wanted to cry, or at least felt some level of remorse for what he did. And so I thought Colin Farrell put in an incredible performance here in this week's episode. But overall, man, continuing to enjoy this season. Look, if there's anything that I missed, certainly go ahead and let me know what you guys thought. I did see somebody the other day, and it sort of spoke my feelings as well when I saw this on Twitter. But there was a picture of Sofia Falcone, and somebody's caption was, "I can fix her," sort of mentality. I hope that she gets an Emmy nomination in here. I truly do. I think she's absolutely fantastic. There is just an uncertainty and an unshakable fear that, as a viewer, like I have of her when she's certainly on screen. You never know what you're gonna get. But the ranges of emotions are unpredictable and fascinating to watch on screen. And so I think that's why she's captivating anytime that she's on camera, honestly. But look, guys, at the end of the day, these are just my A+ opinions. I want to know yours. If there's anything else that I missed from this episode of The Penguin that you want to discuss, let me know in the comment section box below. We'll definitely continue this conversation until I get to my episode 4 review for The Penguin. But until next time, do me a big favor, as always, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.